Hey, what's going on there, people out there in YouTube land? Um, throw up another vape video here. Now, as I buy these products and use them, and if I really like it or it's something that stands out, I'll throw a little review up, throw my opinion in on it. Now, I haven't seen many reviews on this, but I happened to catch it online somewheres and I ordered it. So this is the Goblin Mini. All right. Now this new one I just got from my local shop. It was 35 bucks out here in South Jersey. And this one I got from my vapor store, I believe. All right, somewhere in the same price range. Okay. All right, so here's the box here. When you get it, open her up. First thing you'll see is this instruction card. It tells you all about it. All right, bottom air intake, 2U air holes, and they are 9.2 millimeters, 2 by 9.2 millimeters. 4mm juice feeding channels, single coil adapter match, single coil or dual coil. I'll show you that piece in a second. Goblin classical design for positive block. Full stainless steel 304 body, heat resistance Pyrex tank. 28.6 millimeters tall. Exclude drip tip and a 510 thread. It's a 22 millimeter diameter and it holds 3 mils. So, all stainless steel on glass, and then on the back here, shows you all the parts, okay, filling instructions. So, just the basics. Okay. Now, it's all set in here pretty nice. You get an extra drip tip and an extra tank. And I'll show you the drip tip thing in a second. Alright. So I'll show you these parts. Now inside, tucked in the tank, you get a little package of spares, O-rings, and one fill screw, one post screw. Okay. We don't want to break that before we get to use it. Okay, these are the other two parts we'll go into in a second. Alright, so here's the tank. Like I said, this one's brand new. I just have it coiled up right at the moment. Alright, so we start at the top. Now they have like their own little custom drip tip design put on here. Now, you got this little glass tube, right, and it just fits in there. There's an O-ring actually inside. Now, to be honest, it just comes right out. It's like super loose, completely a pain in the ass. It's the most annoying thing in the world. So, what they also include is this little adapter. Alright, now you just stick this guy in here, and you can put your own drip tip in. Now, what you can also see here is this thing still sucks. Okay? Does not hold the tip for the life of it. So what I actually did with this one, if you could see, I took this piece, alright, and I actually epoxied it right onto the top. So this ain't coming off. Alright, now, got a nice tight 510 tip, ain't going anywhere. Okay, so we'll go down here. Now, you got your glass tank. We'll shift to the bottom. 510 threads are fine. Okay, and here's your airflow. It's completely different. I haven't seen this on really anything else. Airflow comes right in through the bottom, right up and hits the coils. I'll show you that better when I open it up. Now, if you could see the way they have it cut here, okay, air comes from underneath and goes in. I'll show you on here. So this is sitting down on the SX Mini. Air goes in, and I've had no problems. This thing moves pretty good. It's been working really well. And I actually noticed on my other RTA tanks, I noticed like if they lean over, sometimes they'll leak or whatever the case. This thing hasn't leaked at all, even though the air holes are right on the bottom. Okay, so open this up. Alright, now your top cap. Alright, now this piece actually comes off, your secondary chimney part. But I found the way they have this set up. Okay, so there's your top cap, your drip tip. Alright, chimney, and tank. Here's your barrel. Okay, see down in there. and the deck. Now what I was going to say about this chimney piece, the way they have it set up, it actually, there's no stop for it. So if you go to stick this in first, like you see, it just keeps going and going and going. Like there's no spot for it to actually stop. So if you stick it onto your barrel first, like when you have it all together, and then put your tank and then your top cap on, it's not going to be seated all tight, and it won't be right. So what I found to do is just leave it right onto the top cap, and it pretty much sticks to it. It has, for me, it hasn't even come off unless I, intended to take it apart. Now this one will go back on. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we got that. All right, let's take a look at the deck. So you see, I got dual coil set up on here, and it's this 26 gauge, 8 wraps on a 2mm on a coil jig that I have. Now it has the the 4-post design, the T-block. It's pretty easy to build on. I mean, any of these dual coil tanks are just a pain in the rear end anyway, because you gotta space it across and try to get it over the air hole. It takes a little bit of time, but as far as these RTA tanks go, it's pretty simple. Now you can see how huge these juice cutouts are. It's been real nice. I'm using a 90 VG juice in these tanks, and it's working fine. Okay, and you can see how the airflow comes in right from the bottom. Pretty neat. Okay. Alright. So, now this little extra piece they give you, which also is something pretty unique. I haven't seen this before. Now what this does is, it's going to go without the coil on there. It'll go on here, and it locks into the juice channels and into the air hole. So it actually completely blocks off the one side. So if you want to, truly run a single coil in this tank, you can do that. So I thought that was pretty cool that they add that in. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt, this will be my first attempt at trying to wick one of these things, or trying to really do anything on camera. This thing looks super tiny, but we're going to give it a shot. I already got everything kind of as prepared as I could. Alright. So what we'll do... Whew. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think it's a little too thick. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. Alright, so now what I do here is I'll take these scissors and I'll just sit them right onto the edge where the barrel screws onto and give it a cut. Alright, same thing on the other side. Right onto the barrel and cut it straight. Okay, do the other side. Okay, we'll do the same thing. Okay, now this cotton is still a little too thick to get it tucked down into the little spots here. So what I do now is actually trim this in half, about like that, something like that. Let's see. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's do this side. Okay, and this just makes it easier to tuck in, and I found it actually helps the flow a little bit better. Like I said, I'm using a 90 VG juice, you know, thickest stuff I have, and it works fine. I get all the way to the end of the tank. Okay. This one. Okay. Now, bring the juice in here. Alright. So now, I'll just take a toothpick and tuck this down in here. Alright, now a couple of these I have to trim down just a little more, just to get them to fit right. Alright. Okay, so there we go. You know, just trim them down until they fit nice and flush in the holes there, so the barrel doesn't get into the way. Okay. Alright, that'll do. So now we go with the barrel. UD facing up. Alright. Now throw it onto this SX Mini. Okay. Make sure everything's working well before we go and put it back the rest of the way together. Alright, good to go. Now I got this built 0.31. Like I said, it's a 26 gauge, 8 wrap, 2mm. Now, my SX Mini, I don't know if this is all of them, but it tends to read about 0.05 low. So, 0.05 to 0.07. So on the rest of them, it was like a 0.39, 0.4. But, so that's where we're at. Alright, next thing, I put the tank on. Alright, we got the O-ring at the bottom that holds that on. We got, you know, there's an O-ring up here in the top that seals it all up. And then, you know, the threads right here in the barrel, that's what holds everything together. Alright, so I just catch the chimney, and that's it. Let's see here. Make sure I get that right. Alright, there we go. Okay. Now, filling. Now, you're going to need a needle tip bottle or, you know, something with a point on it. Alright, because there's the fill screw. Now, some people don't like that. They'll call that a negative. You know, it is what it is for me. You know, that's just the way you fill it. So if you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. But for me, the flavor that I get out of this thing being so small and compact, plus it holds, you know, 3 mils is a, you know, it's an okay amount. You know, this thing is so tiny. I mean, it is incredibly, incredibly tiny. So I got a K-Fun here. Compared to the K-Fun, you can see how small it is. I mean, this is just a standard K-Fun. It's short. Alright. Okay, so let's fill it up. I got cotton everywhere. Alright, so flathead screw. That's one of my cons as well. I wish that was at least a Phillips. You know, flatheads are such a pain. But that's okay. Alright. Now this is where, like I said, you know, a needle tip bottle or something with a point comes in handy. And you just squeeze it in. Now I've been filling this thing up all the way to the top without a problem. You know, and to be honest, I actually like the bottom fill tanks because you don't have to worry about flooding or the pressure or flipping it upside down, undoing the cap, turning it around. You just turn it over, take out the screw, squeeze in your juice, put the screw back on, you're ready to go. Alright, let's see. I mean, you could get the full 3 mils in this guy. Alright, that'll do it for now. Now, this screw is extremely tiny. Okay. Alright, so that's it. Now, to wrap it up, go over a couple things. Pros, flavor is phenomenal. It's such good flavor. I mean, it's like a straight shot right to your mouth. It's, you know, a small little tank. The flavor has just been awesome. Every juice I put in here tastes great. Now, you know, I normally run, this is where you see what I'm running, 0.31, 27 point, this really should be 5 watts, but that's okay. 27 to 28 watts, roughly. Alright. That's about where I keep the airflow. You know, I've been loving it. This is my second one. Like I said, I had this one. Alright. So like I said, pros, flavor, awesome. Juice capacity, I don't think that's a pro or con. It's 3 mils. It's kind of middle of the road for that. The tank is very small, very, very small. So it makes, you know, makes everything look real nice and short. So that's good for low profile. Airflow is good, clean. The only negatives I have are this whole drip tip setup thing. This just falls out. It sucks too. I wish this was tight. It would be awesome, but it just comes right out of there. This great idea. Again, just comes right out. It doesn't even stay in there. A little bit of epoxy fixes that. You know, I'll show you this one here real quick again. That ain't going anywhere. So, and I wish there was a Phillips head screw on it for the fill screw. And that's it. You know, take a quick vape and then we'll get out of here. Let's get rid of that thing. All right, everybody, take care.